Hello everybody, it's Sarah, and for today's video I have my January wrap-up as well as my February TBR chart for you. And first, let me quickly go through all the books I read in January. I read a total of 4 books, 3 of them were first-time reads and 1 book was a reread, so I'm really on track with my reading challenge for 2019. I started 2 more books as well, and let me just wrap them up for you very quickly. The first book I read this month was Circe by Madeline Miller. I really enjoyed this book. I think I gave it 5 stars. For those of you who don't know, this is basically a retelling of the life of Circe, who is a character that reappears time and time again in Greek mythology. And the reason why I enjoyed this retelling so much is that usually when you have retellings, you very much know what is going to happen in a way, or you'll have to change the retelling completely. You know the entire story basically, you kind of also know the characters. Of course there will be changes how certain characters are depicted, but not too much most of the time. And with Circe is a character who does not really have her own myths, who does not really have her own stories. She just appears in, for example, the story of Jason and Medea. She appears in the stories of Odysseus, all that type of stuff. And so what I really enjoyed is that you have this character who isn't very well known in Greek mythology, or is well known, but like at the same time not really, and you give her her own character and you give her her own story and just like piece together what her character is from all those different types of stories, if I make sense with that. But yeah, that was something that I really enjoyed about this book. Next, I reread Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. So I started my reread of all of Brandon Sanderson's books that I have read so far, especially The Cosmere. And I think I enjoyed this book even more than the first time I read it. I think I have a review for this book. If I do, I will leave it linked down below from the first time that I read it. But the thing that I especially enjoyed this time was the character of Hrathen, who kind of is the antagonist. Because I don't know, I just noticed some things about that character that I didn't notice as much the first time. And so it was definitely a good reread. So that was where the good stuff stopped for a little while, because I read The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I don't want to get into this right now. I absolutely hated this book. I do not say I hate a book easily. I think I only said once before that I hate a book, and that was The Catcher and the Rye. Otherwise I would say like, I strongly dislike a book maybe, but usually I can still see some positive stuff about it, but this book I just absolutely hated it. If you want to know why, I have a whole rant review, I will leave the link down below. But actually I did get to know some stuff that I didn't put in the rant review. In the rant review I said it's an okay book up to the last 50 pages and the last 50 pages ruin it, but actually it's only like the first 100, 200 pages that are salvageable, and from then on just everything goes downhill and it's horrible. The way she dealt with Chinese history, it's just, I hated this book. And the last book I finished this month was The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. I hope I pronounced it correctly. And I did absolutely love this book. So 2 of the 3 books that I read for the first time this month were 5-star reads and 1 was a 1-star read. And I would highly recommend it. This is one of the first YA fantasy books in a long time that I really enjoyed. And for those of you who don't know what this book is about, it's set in 1889 Paris, which I absolutely love because Paris is one of my favorite cities of all time. And it's kind of a heist story. I have seen a lot of people compare it to Six of Crows. I can't say anything about that because I didn't read Six of Crows, so I don't know how accurate it is. But the thing that I probably enjoyed most about this book is that the characters are absolutely amazing and on point. I fell in love with all of the characters so much, especially Hypnos. Hypnos is an amazing character. I love him so much. And another thing that is absolutely amazing about this book is the representation. I don't think there is a single main character that is straight and white. Like, there are some bisexual characters, there is an Indian character, there is an half Algerian, half French character, like a lot of different characters from different places. I think one is half Filipino, half Spanish, Then another one is Chu, and I don't know exactly what Hypnos is. I think he's like half Haitian, half French. I can't remember 100%. I'm sorry if I was wrong about that. But he also has like a dual bloodline type of thing going on. So yeah, if you want to read a YA fantasy book that is like historical fantasy set in Paris with a lot of representation, go pick this book up. It's absolutely amazing, and the characters are just, they are bomb. And then I picked up 2 more books. One is Peter Hart's His Happy Life Told by Himself by Ingo Schulze. I don't know if that's a correct translation of the title. I don't know if this book has been translated into English, but this was the book that I decided to read from my draw from my TBR jar last month, where I always draw 3 books. I did not finish it, but I don't feel bad about this because this isn't really a book that you can read in one go. So I'm just like reading 1 to 2 chapters per day, and I'll probably be done by the end of March, I guess. I'm not sure yet, like hopefully, but I don't feel too bad about that, and I enjoy it so far. I don't like Peter Hart's, but I enjoy the book as a whole so far. And then I also picked up The Masked City, which is the second book in Genevieve Cogman's The Invisible Library series, where I read the first book in December last year, and I really enjoyed it so far. I'm only like 50 pages in, but I thought I'd just mention it. Okay, and now to the last part of this video. Let's see which books I will choose for this month and which books I will read. I don't think I'm going to read too many books this month because I'm in Korea for 2 weeks, so there won't be a lot of reading happening, but we'll see. First draw is... The first book I drew is Von Bagdad nach Stambul by Karl May. Karl May is a very well-known German author from the beginning of the 20th century. I know that his books were the books that my mom used to read when she was little, my dad used to read when he was little, and he kind of has like 2 series. They all follow the same character, who in one of the series is called Old Shatterhand, and I don't know what he's called in the other series. And basically it's very much a colonialized series of books, because as Old Shatterhand it's him being in the Wild West and just like fighting Native Americans and all that type of stuff. And then as the other character, he's in the Middle East, and this belongs to the series that's set in the Middle East. And I've never read a Karl May book, and I'm very much interested in finally reading one, because like I think I got this book almost 10 years back from my mom for my birthday, because I finally wanted to read a Karl May book. But yeah, let's see if I'll finally get around to it. Then my second draw is going to be, let's see, I wanna go in here. So the second book I picked is Emma by Jane Austen. It would be my first Jane Austen book I ever read. So I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up or not, because it is quite hefty, but I know from a friend that she really enjoyed this book, so we'll see. And then the third draw, the third book I picked is Bullet by Laurel K. Hamilton, which I actually started in November, I think. And I am like 100 pages in, and so far they have only had sex, so I put it down again for now, but I really have to continue. I think this will probably be the book that I pick up, because they're really fast and easy reads. So yeah, I'm like quite certain that I will definitely finish this book, and we'll see, maybe I will finish one of the other 2 as well. Anyway, that was it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe think about giving me a thumbs up and subscribing. Tell me in the comments down below which books you read this month. Did you read any of the books I did? Did you love/hate them as much as I did as well? And as always, in the description box down below are all the links to my social media, so you can go and check those out, and I hope I'll see you soon. Bye!